Welcome to DNX Solutions podcast, leading the way in cloud modernization services.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DNX podcast. My name is Griffin, CTO of DNX. I am one of the co-hosts here on the podcast. I'm joined by a brand new co-host. This is super exciting. I want to introduce Tammy. Tammy, welcome to the team.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. This is such a cool topic, right? So we wanted to get you on and talk about, obviously, share co-hosting and all of that sort of stuff, and get your insights around, various different topics and things like that, because you're one of our lead engineers here at DNX, and, you get to see a vast array of different customer experiences and challenges and stuff. But one of the topics I thought we'd start on is, women in tech. It's a super interesting topic. And I'd love to get your insight on that, because you've spent some time with the AWS She Builds team as well, right?
Yes. So first of all, I love this topic. It's a topic that I really enjoy to talk, right? So yes, and a couple of months ago, I joined Elena and then all the group of She Builds AWS. So it was an amazing experience. And there we talk a little bit about women tech. I think we are going to cover a little bit on this podcast, right?
Yeah, definitely. Look, let's get started, right? Probably the easiest question, hopefully, and this would share a little bit of insight into your journey and some of your experience as well. Is how did you get involved in tech, and what led you here today?
Okay, sounds beautiful. So let's start. 30 years ago, I was deciding which uni I want to get it. And then I was talking to my sister. She was already working in the IT field. She was a project manager in that time. And then I was discussing with her. I say, I don't know what to do. And she said, why not you try to go through the IT field? I say, well, okay, what actually engineer does, right? And she explained a little bit about the role, and then I fall in love, to be honest, because I fall in love to solve problems, right? So this is what we do in our nowadays work, right? So anyway, and then I joined in uni, and then started my first challenge, right? Because we have actually 40 students, right? So, and I would say that 10% was women, right?
Oh, wow.
So I would say, yeah, I'm in the right course, or should I move to other, I don't know, like I would say nurse, to be a nurse. And then I was talking, no, let's continue. I love it to have this experience. And then I started, and when I started to study, I really say, this is what I want to do. I don't care if there is a few women, right, in this field. I concluded this was 2010, and then I started my first job. It was 2011, right? And yeah, and also was amazing. Like I really love what I do, right? So I really love fixing problem, giving solution to the customers. And then also the same, we had these few women's in tech, right? Especially engineer. We had a lot like in the business side, like a BA, project manager, but a few engineers, right? So, and then I've come to DNX, right? So I'm being DNX for almost 2.5 years. And then I think here, I would say that I can see more women's in tech, and all the support that we have here in DNX.
Yeah, that's an awesome background, and you are right. Like, we've got a couple of women here that are in technical roles, right? We've got we've got the traditional sort of BA and project managers and stuff like that as well. But we've got a couple of you that are deep in the technology space. What are some of the challenges that you had to overcome in order to get into tech and stay in tech, I suppose, more importantly?
Yeah, I think the first of all was to have like it's like a of representation, right? So we have a few women, and then especially when you start your career, right? So it's so important for us to see it that, for example, we have a leadership women's, like we just see, hey, it's possible for me to become a CTO in the future, right? So, for example, I just did a little search. We have only 80% of the CTOs that is women, right? So, and 17% of CEO, right? So, and then if you start your career, you think about it's possible for me to become a CTO or a CEO, in the future. So
Yeah.
I think this is my first challenge, right? That I'm facing, that it's impossible for me to go to this career, like this predominant with men. So yeah, so the barriers that we have is that I can be heard, because of women. This is what I think that was the challenge, that I need to show a lot that I'm capable to do something,
Right.
because I had in the past in past company that I was working, that I need to show a little bit more, I need to show that I can, and more than my colleagues that he was a man. And then I think this is also part of the culture of the company as well.
Yeah,
So
that's an interesting barrier, and hopefully, what you're saying now is, you know, um, everybody, obviously from our team's perspective anyway, hopefully this is what you're saying. If it's not, we have a massive problem, right? But everyone's equal, everyone gets heard, everyone has a voice, and everyone has different opinions and diverse experiences, to hopefully then share those diverse experiences and stuff like that to help solve customer problems, because we don't want everybody exactly the same and stuff like that. But it's an interesting point that you sort of made, right? A very low number of executives, for example, are women. Particularly in the tech space, it's obviously it's heavily male orientated or dominated. What do you think that is, and how do we open up the eyes of potential women out there, regardless of their experience and background today, to maybe look at a career in tech?
yeah, I think we can have like more, I would say, meetups, right? So, and then we can show like a workshop, and then we have a few women's in tech meetups here in Sydney, right?
Yeah.
So, which is pretty good. I think um, I feel more comfortable, right? That is the same pain that I have, or all the women's in general, right? So, and this is gonna be a progress, right, Kelly? I think this is gonna be with the time. We are much better in this topic, right? So we can see more women like executive role. And then I think like a meetups, and then to women to feel more represented with representation. I think this is gonna be a good way to go.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and ultimately that's something we all sort of aspire to, right? Is making sure that everyone has a voice and everyone's got clear representation across the community, because it shouldn't just be a heavily male orientated environment, right? But it's quite interesting, because there's plenty of roles out there that to that you can certainly seek your career into and grow and be nurtured and all of that sort of stuff. So as we sort of wrap up, obviously there's I wanted to learn a little bit more about you. I want the listeners to hear a little bit more about you, because you're going to co-host now. What are some of your interests and passions, and what do you want to hear, over the next couple of podcasts, as we're in planning mode at the moment in terms of what we want to hear and what we want to share with our listeners. What are some of the stuff that you want to hear and you want to partake as well to some of the audience?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great. So, as I mentioned before, I love to solve problems, right? So, and then we here in the next, we create so many great solutions. Like we have so many use cases that we had with our customers, and everything regarding to the new technology, how we can help the customer, with some new technologies and some partners as well that we are gonna come to bring to the podcast as well. So I think this is a very good topic that I'm really excited to share with you guys.
Awesome. And as we close up and wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to share, to any future aspiring women in tech?
Yes, I have a few words that I can say. Like, I think don't give up, right? So can be challenging your career, right? But with the time, it's getting better. I think I think all the industry is improving a lot. I think we have more women in the field, and so many companies are supporting now the women's in tech. Have a meetup, so women's group, like we can go out with your colleagues as well. So I think don't give up. I think this is really, if you really love what you do, I think it is a fantastic field, IT. So yeah, this is my few words.
Amazing. Words to live by. So thank you very much for sharing that. So folks, as per normal, that's a wrap. Nice, short, sharp episode. We promise to keep these nice and short, just to make sure that it's the right level of information, and you keep coming back to us. So thank you very much for your time. For all of our listeners out there, Tammy, thank you. Welcome to the co-hosting. Look forward to some of your insights over the next couple of weeks as we go on and think about stuff around like security, and we go and talk to some of our data vendors and really hone in on how can we help modernization across the enterprise as well, because there's a lot of work to do. So thanks again.
Amazing. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you. I'm really excited to be your co-host.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks very much. We'll see you
Thank you.
next time, folks. Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
listening to the DNX Solutions podcast. Follow us on socials or visit DNX.Solutions for more.